Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Better Call Saul. This week we got to see Better Call Saul Season 1, Episode 7, which is called Bingo. Okay, and spoiler warning if you guys haven't seen Bingo yet, we've got 3 episodes left of Better Call Saul this season, and then the season ends literally with 10 episodes. So it's been great, I think, so far. You know, it definitely started off really good with the first 4, and, you know, going from there, episode 5 and through with Mike, it has been good. I will say that I did prefer the beginning of the season a little bit better. With regards to the Kettlemens in this episode, basically what we see, spoiler warning, is you have Saul, or Jimmy, and he takes the money that they had stolen. He actually steals it from them, pretty sneakily, by the way, with Mike's help, which I did like quite a bit because they marked it. They gave him some money, and then they put the money back, and then they go in. Mike goes in, uses the prints from the spray on it with I think it's a black light, and is able to find where they actually put the money. And then he takes all the money, gives it to Jimmy, and Jimmy gives it back to the authorities in order for them to take this deal that Kim has worked out with HHM. The other lawyers, the competition lawyers from Saul, but because he cares about her, he's willing to help her out in this situation. So he has to give back all of the money, all of it, and then they're able to make this deal so that Mr. Kettlemen goes to jail for, I think they said, like a couple of years rather than or not even a couple of years, rather than a life sentence, which would be like 30 plus years. So, yeah. So, I mean, it was decent, with the Kettlemens. I mean, I guess it would make sense logically that we would see kind of how that whole case turned out because they're crazy, and then you have Kim who's actually trying to defend them, but as she finds out pretty quickly when she starts going through the records and everything, he did not do a good job of covering his tracks, and that he's going to be found guilty for sure. There's no question about it. So yeah, so you have all of that. So I like the parts with Mike. I like the parts with Jimmy, of course. And the Kettlemens are always funny because they're so Ned and Maud Flanders, he calls it, which is really funny. Aside from that, I mean, I don't have too much more else to say about that's basically the episode right there. We get to see the new place that Jimmy was going to take. He was going to take a lease on and open a bigger office there with the money that they had given him. But conscience becomes expensive, doesn't it? One of my favorite quotes from Breaking Bad from Saul. It's funny how we kind of see why he knows that later on, because in this episode he has to battle with his conscience and decide whether or not he's going to give back over the money. Mike, is I was surprised because I mean, him transporting 1.6 million, you'd think you'd just say screw up and just take the money and just leave, just take off or something. But they don't. They do the right thing, and in the end, the Kettlemens, their situation is much better off because they're actually harmful to themselves because they won't listen to Kim and her deal that she's worked out with them. So I do like the relationship between Jimmy and Kim and where that's going. Of course, he helps her out big time in this case because without that, with losing them, her career is not over, but is significantly damaged. So he helps her out in that way to get her back on track. The funniest part of the episode, I'd have to say, was actually in the bingo hall when all the old people are playing bingo and you see the cards and it's got Saul's face advertising in the bingo hall. I just love that quite a bit. So in terms of score for this episode, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was good. I'm not going to go into too much more detail with it because it was pretty basic, and I mean, I'm kind of okay with the Kettlemens. I think they've gotten as much story out of them as I think we probably should get, and I think we should move on now to see what's going to come for the last 3 episodes with the big finale. So I'll have to see what happens, and hopefully Mike will be involved. I'm sure he will be, as he's basically like our secondary character. He's the only other character in the show that's had his own full episode basically. So you've got Saul or Jimmy as our main protagonist, then we have kind of our secondary would be Mike probably, and I do like that quite a bit. So let me know what you guys thought about the episode Bingo. I thought it was good. Not quite as good as some of the episodes we've had earlier on. Pretty much finished with the Kettlemens at this point. Hope we don't see them again unless it's something really interesting. And just looking forward to seeing how the first season is going to end up. Then, of course, season 2 is already confirmed, so that's awesome. And Better Call Saul off to an excellent start, but I do think it started better than this second half of it, so to speak, has been. Not that it's been bad, but the first half blew me away. The second half has been good. amazing or just good or great. You can sense the difference. Not bad, but gone from amazing to great or good. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll call it here for this video. If you're new to the channel, you want to subscribe, just click the subscribe at the bottom left. And if you want to thumb up the video, would appreciate it. You want to share it, you want to favorite it, would also appreciate it. So for this one, guys, see you next week for the next review of Better Call Saul. As always, it's Trev saying peace.